Om Mani Mani Mahamani Shakyamani Saha. Om Mani Mani Mahamani Shakyamani Saha. Om Mani Mani Mahamani Shakyamani Saha. I want to explain the concept of sunyata, the concept of zero, and how it applies to our individual personal identity when we identify with concepts. Whether you are identifying with a religious concept such as I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Christian, I'm a Jew, I'm a Hebrew, I am a Hindu, I'm a Muslim. So that's you identifying yourself with a concept. Similarly, you have many concepts that we identify with, such as our name is a concept, a gender is a concept, our culture is a concept, the language we speak is a concept, our education, our titles, our work, our marriage status, whether you're single, whether you're married, your gender, masculine, feminine, gay, transgender, all of that are concepts. And when we identify with those concepts and we accept those labels, so when we identify with those concepts, that in that moment we make contact with that concept. So if you identify as a Buddhist, you make contact with a concept. When you identify yourself as a name, you make contact with the concept of name. When you identify yourself within a certain culture, you make contact with that culture system. That contact is what gives karma. So as soon as you make contact, you are born or reborn within that contact concept. So you have a general idea of being born as a human being, like taking physical birth on this earth. That in itself, your initial first birth on this earth in itself, you are born because of your ignorance. You are born because we do not understand sunyata. That's why we are born. So that's the initial problem. So that's like the general overarching problem, is like we're born into samsara. We're born into this duality system because we are born into this system because we do not understand sunyata. We do not understand zero, and we do not understand form is emptiness, emptiness is form. We do not understand that. That's why we are born. We do not understand wisdom. We do not understand pragyaparamita sunyata. We don't understand sunyata. And that's why we are born in this earth. That's the first reason. And then you have your general life, your everyday life. And then you have your personal life, and then you have a interconnected planetary life. Especially with the internet now, we are all interconnected across the world. We have rebirths in those contexts, in that context as well. So we have rebirths within our personal life when we make contact with concepts. We have constant rebirths in our personal everyday life. We have constant rebirths within our interconnected planetary system and how we interact with each other. We make contact and we have rebirths in that context as well. In the worldly planetary sense, we have rebirth in that as well. And then we have rebirth within the mainstream concepts, such as when we believe in things like 9/11, we believe in the moon landing, we believe in the coronavirus. We make contact with those things and we have rebirth in those instances as well. So we are living in this massive play of constantly being reborn. So we are constantly taking births, like all the time. We are making so much contact with the world in general. And our contact comes from acquiring or believing in concepts or associating with concepts. And if you go deeper, also disassociating with concepts. So associating with any type of concept or accepting or taking any concept and believing like I am a Nepalese Buddhist. As soon as I make that contact, I incur a karma and I'm reborn in that context. I have to go in and investigate and understand and realize sunyata in that context and understand that I don't have a name. I'm not a Buddhist. I don't have a religion. Um, I don't exist. I don't have a form. So getting to that place in terms of not making contact with any concepts, but at the same time, also not disassociating, so not disregarding this system, not disregarding the self, also not disregard, like completely disregarding and saying I don't exist. That's incorrect as well. Um, so you have to find that sunyata space in which to operate from. So your main operational mode, your main operational mental system, your main operational system in itself has to be sunyata. So you cannot associate or disassociate. You cannot make contact or you cannot completely disregard and completely eliminate something from your life. So you engage with those things within the premise of sunyata. As sunyata as your underlying base, because sunyata is zero. Even though if I let's say make contact with that in terms of sunyata, I'm not making contact because my operational system is zero. My operational system is emptiness. My operational system is sunyata. So say for example, if I say this pen doesn't exist, this pen is empty, it doesn't exist. So that's like disassociation. Association is like this pen exists. So there is a disassociation and an association. That's the duality. That's the good and bad. And that's basically your samsara. That's duality. So when you associate and disassociate, that's the oscillating duality. You're associating and you're disassociating. So you can't do that. And you're making contact. So when you disassociate, you make contact. When you associate, you make contact with the pen. Either way, even if you completely reject it and say the pen doesn't exist, you're still making contact. But the correct way to approach it is having your basis or having contact with this pen through sunyata. Having contact with this pen through sunyata. So even if you have contact with this pen through sunyata, you have no contact because sunyata is zero. So that should be your base operational system, or that should be how you approach this reality. So when people fight about like religion and identify themselves as a Buddhist, identify themselves as a monk, identify themselves as a teacher, and we have all of these various labels that we identify ourselves with, like I'm a Hindu, I'm not a Buddhist, I'm a Christian, I'm not a Buddhist, or I'm a Buddhist, I'm not a Christian, or I'm a Jew. And we are just always making contact with these concepts, and through those concepts you will still incur a karma, and especially for Buddhists, because the Buddhists even know the concept of sunyata, like most Buddhists know the concept of sunyata, but they're still making contact. They're still making contact with the concept of Buddhism and calling themselves Buddhists, for example. The Buddha said, even the Buddha is sunyata. Even sunyata is sunyata, because sunyata is zero. So what else can sunyata be? Because sunyata is zero, sunyata is sunyata. So the concept of making contact and taking rebirths comes from dependent origination. You can go quickly look at what dependent origination is. And through the dependent origination, as soon as you make contact, you take rebirth. That's how you have karma, is because you made contact. You believed in a concept. You were attached to a concept. And attachment is like contact. So you can look at contact as attachment, as a form of attachment. And in Buddhism, you know that attachment is one of the main three poisons, main three klesh, one of the main three negative emotion that all of these other negative instances stem from, like greed, attachment, and attachment is like greed is attachment. So you have greed, ignorance, and anger. So attachment can fall under greed, because you attach yourself to a label. You're like, I'm a Buddhist, I'm not a Hindu. Like, Buddhism is better than Hinduism. And you have an attachment to that. So you make contact with that. And then you have to go online, and then you have to start fighting over why Buddhist is better than Hindu, or why Hindu is better than Buddhist. You have to go online and start fighting. That's your karma. That's you taking rebirth in samsara. You have to explain yourself. You have to make yourself grander. You have to make yourself better. You have to make yourself bigger than someone else. So that you making contact, and that you in a battlefield trying to maintain your position, maintain your illusory position that this is better than that. So that's how you make contact. If you look at the bigger picture in terms of how not to incur a karma, how not to end up in hell, how not to take constant rebirth, how to extract yourself from this samsaric battlefield of duality. If you look at the bigger picture, then you should be able to immediately drop all of these concepts based on attachment, based on contact. You should be able to immediately drop all of them and focus on the bigger picture. It's like, how can I not go to hell? How can I not incur a karmic account to sunyata? How can I prevent rebirths? How can I prevent this battlefield? How can I extract myself from this battlefield of samsara? So that should be your focus in the bigger picture. So you have to drop all your petty arguments, and you have to drop all your petty defenses, because you defending the work of Buddha, you're not defending it for Buddha, you're not defending it for Buddhism, you are defending it for yourself, because Buddhism is eternal. Sunyata is always going to be there. Sunyata is the base operating system of the universe. So Sunyata basically doesn't need your protection. Sunyata is Sunyata. Sunyata is supreme. And nothing can even dent Sunyata. Nothing can put a dent on Sunyata. And Sunyata is pure. And nothing will contaminate Sunyata. So you don't even have to protect it. But what you do have to do is not incur a karma to Sunyata. You do have to do that. So you protecting and defending Buddhism, or defending your religion, or defending your personal belief system, or defending your identity in the bigger picture will actually send you to hell, because you incur a karma to sunyata because of that. So that's the foundation of Buddhism, or that's the foundation of literally reality. You will understand this during the Great Tribulation, because that's what will be demanded or expected from you in terms of your spiritual journey. So when we make contact and when we engage within the samsaric battlefield of securing our identity, protecting our identity, when we engage in that battlefield in samsara, and we try to secure and protect our position, you actually are not doing your dharma correctly. You are actually incurring a karma to sunyata. You're incurring a karma to yourself, because you might think like, I'm protecting Buddhism and I want Buddhism to like live forever, or I want Buddhism to maintain its lineage and heritage. You might be thinking that, but it's actually doing the opposite. It's not doing what you think it's doing, like you're protecting the lineage of sunyata. That's not what it's doing. It's actually doing the opposite, because you're actually incurring a karma to sunyata. You're actually incurring a karma, and then you eventually have to pay that back. You have to pay that back. Within the Father Tantra, you are playing that game. You are playing that. You are playing within the samsaric battlefield within the Father Tantra. But when you are initiated into the Mother Tantra, when you are initiated into the tantric space, you actually have to do your severance. You actually have to do your Cheda sadhana. You have to do the severance, and you actually have to release your contact with this world. And releasing the contact with this world is also you naturally gaining your sunyata, you're naturally gaining your zero state. You're neither good or bad. You are not in duality, you're not in samsara, you are actually zero within yourself. And only that will help you exit samsara. And that's the only way. Zero is the only way. Sunyata is the only way to exit samsara. You could be a Buddhist. If you don't know sunyata, you'll be stuck in samsara. If you are a Hindu, you don't even know sunyata, you don't even believe in sunyata, you believe in the self. The self is a self-destructing system. The self doesn't know that there is no self. And that's the ignorance. So that's like an angle that is missing. Like you're not seeing that there is no self. Like you're completely in your attachment space. You are in that total contact. It's like the self exists, like self-love that the New Age teach. So those things are actually very dangerous because you're making contact with something that doesn't even exist. Because as soon as you hold on to the self, that's when the demons appear. Self-attachment, as soon as you identify with the self, and as soon as you give yourself visibility, the demons will appear. That means you're visible to the demons. People can see you. So you have to be invisible. Sunyata is invisibility. Sunyata is zero. Sunyata is transparent. Sunyata is the mirage. So as soon as you make contact, that means you are now visible. The demon can see you. And the demon will exploit your attachment. Whatever you attach to, like say for example, if you're a Buddhist and you're attached to Buddhism and you go online and you fight with the Hindus on your religion system, if you go online and if you do that, the demons know that you're attached to Buddhism. Demons know that you want to protect Buddhism. Demon knows that you will do anything to fight for Buddhism. Demon knows that. So demon will take that and take you into samsara and throw you into the battlefield and make you fight with the Hindus, for example. So demons will exploit your attachment. As soon as you attach yourself, you become visible to the demons. If you have no attachment, you are invisible. You're sunyata. You're transparent. You're a mirage. You're an illusion. You're there. But it's like, hello, knock, knock. Is anybody home? That's what the demons do to me. It's like they're trying to do the experimental mind control, this remote telepathic mind control, and install all this fear in me and play all these different games with me all the time. But I have to show up as sunyata. I have to show up as emptiness, because as soon as I make contact with something, it's like, oh, I really love this. Don't take this away from me. The next day, this thing would magically disappear. That's how the demons operate. They're always trying to make you have contact, make you have attachment to something. And as soon as you have attachment to that, they will come and quickly they will take it away from you, because that's what the demons want. So demons equals attachment. Attachment and demons are synonymous. Attachment and demons is the same thing. Even more than greed, even more than power, even more than ignorance, demons are based on attachment. And that's how you take birth in this world. You attach yourself to something, and then it's like literal as well, because when your parents make contact and then you are born in this world, it's like you hitch a ride. It's like you are attached to something and you hitch a ride into this samsaric world. It's like a literal thing.